Welcome once again, grade 12 learners. As you are preparing for your trial examination, I've picked up this question paper from Mpumalanga, September 2016. Today we are going to be looking at question number 2. In this video, we're actually looking at only question number 2. Okay, it is on the topic manufacturing accounts. Okay, let's just go straight to it. Okay, fine, I'll do all the calculations, the production cost statement, all the other notes that are given there for direct labor and factory overhead costs. Okay, have a look at the question paper closely before we can actually start to look at the calculations and the entries that we are supposed to make for the direct labor cost, the factory overhead cost, and then also for the production cost statement for the year ended 28 February 2016. Okay, so let's look at the requirements. Okay, Adam Bin Manufacturers, you are provided with information relating to Adam Bin Manufacturers for the year ended 29 February 2016. The business makes and sells one type of product, namely plastic rubbish bins. Okay, the requirements: prepare the following notes to the production cost statement for the year ended 29 February 2016. Okay, the first note is for the direct labor cost. Okay, this is the template that we are going to use to do our recordings, the direct labor cost. Okay, when we are making the direct labor cost note, we need to look at the money that was received by people who are working in the factory. Okay, the people who are actually responsible for manufacturing those plastic rubbish bins. How much money were they paid? How much money did they receive? So in other words, I'm saying that we have to look for the factory wages. The factory wages, or the money that was given to the factory workers who were making those products. Okay, let's look at the information that we are given. Okay, A, we are told about what the number of units. B is the stock balances. And then C, we have what summary of transactions for the year ended 29 February 2016. Let's look for the wages of the factory workers. Okay, we've got wages here. Factory workers. Remember, you are specifically looking at the wages, looking for the wages for factory workers, not wages for office workers, not any other kind of wages, but only money that was given to the factory workers. Okay, we have got this information: wages, factory workers. Okay, there is a question mark. They said we should go to information D. Okay, here is D. Okay, we are given all the information: the hours per annum, the rate per hour, and then the number of workers. So it means we are supposed to do the calculation so that we can know exactly how much money was given to the factory workers. Okay, so we'll start our calculation. Okay, so we are going to start by indicating, of course, you can see from here there is normal time, there is overtime. Okay, so we are going to indicate, okay, fine, the money or the factory wages, the money for the factory wages. So I'll indicate here on the answer book, factory wages. Factory wages. Okay, what I'll do, since this is small, I'll do the calculation aside and then we'll simply record the amount there. Okay, so this is how we are going to do the calculation. How many hours were worked on the normal time, what was the rate, and then the number of workers. So of course, the number of hours, okay, for the normal wage, we are having 1000. We have got 1600 hours, and then multiplied by the rate per hour, it was 60 rand. Multiplied by 60 times the number of workers is 12. Okay, so when you say 1600 times 60 times 12, we are going to get something like 1,152,000. 1,152,000. That is for the normal. And then let's now look at the overtime. The overtime, how many hours were worked overtime? There were 240 overtime hours, and the rate per hour is 100 rand per hour. And then also the number of workers is the same number. Okay, so when we do that calculation, we are going to get something like 288,000. Okay, so this is the money that was received for the normal working hours. This is the money that was received for the overtime. So we add the two amounts, 1,152,000 plus 288,000, which will give us something like 1,440,000. So 1,440,000 is our direct wages or direct labor. We can say that's our direct labor or our direct wages, okay, or the money that was received for the factory wages. So the factory wages that were received by those that was paid to the employees who were working in the factory is 1,440,000. Okay. All right, what else do we need to include? Okay, we also look at any other items like UIF, pension fund, or anything else that was indicated. So according to the information that we have, you can see that, okay, apart from the money that we just calculated, we also have got UIF contributions to be allocated to each specific cost account. Factory workers in the production process, it's 11,520. Okay, that is the only item. Okay, I'll indicate here UIF, and then it's 11,520. 11,520. So we add those two amounts, and then our final amount is 1,451,000. 1,451,520. So this is the money that we are going to take to the production cost statement for our direct labor cost. Okay, we are done with the first note. Let's now move on to the factory overhead costs. We are already given the depreciation and the sundry expenses. Let's identify the other items that are supposed to be recorded. Okay, we have got factory indirect materials. Okay, factory indirect materials. Okay, let me indicate indirect materials. Okay, all right, on the indirect materials, we also have, if you check from the information that is given in B, there is stock balances, factory indirect material stock. We have got the opening stock and the closing stock. We also have got the factory indirect materials purchased is 125,900. Then how do we do the calculation? What amount are we supposed to record? This is how we do the calculation. Okay, indirect material cost. Okay, we say the opening stock plus purchases minus the closing stock. So the opening stock that is given there is 8,100 for the raw material, 8,100 plus the purchases that are given, they are 125,900. Okay, 125,900, and then we say minus the closing stock, which is 7,400. Okay, if we do this calculation, we are going to remain with something like 126,600. 126,600. So 126,600 is our indirect material. Okay, our indirect material cost is 126,600. What else do we have? We also have what indirect labor. We also have what indirect labor. Indirect labor is that money that is given to the other people who were working in the factory, but they were not directly involved in manufacturing the products. So here I can see that there is a factory foreman. Okay, there is a factory foreman. The salary for the factory foreman is given 241,000. Okay, so I'm going to indicate indirect, that we call that indirect labor. Indirect labor, I think I can just open a bracket here, 241,000 plus, I'm sure we also have the UIF contribution. For the factory foreman was 2,410 plus 2,410. Okay, 241,000 plus 2,410, it will give us 243,410. 243,410. So we are done with the direct labor. The next item that we have, it is the factory maintenance. There is no adjustment that I see on the factory maintenance. We don't enter advertising. It's not for the factory. No bad debts, they are not for the factory. We are only looking at items that affect, or items that are part of the factory overheads, expenses that incurred in the factory. Factory maintenance, I'm going to indicate factory maintenance, Okay, there's no adjustment, and the amount is 85,000. 85,000 for the factory maintenance. Okay, what else do we have beside the factory maintenance? Okay, we also have what rent expense. The rent expense, okay, the rent expense. Okay, we can see, okay, the rent, they say rent expense, see information E. This is E. Okay, rent expense must be allocated according to the floor space used in the factory, used in the following areas. The factory, 1,200 square meters, office 350, and then the sales 250. So how do we make this calculation then? The first thing, we are supposed to know the rent that was paid. The rent expense that was paid is 135,000. Let me do the calculation here. Rent expense. Okay, the rent expense is 135,000 that was paid, which we are supposed to apportion within. We are supposed to apportion it amongst our factory, office, and the sales department. Okay, so the first thing that we do is to add the number of square meters that are occupied by the whole firm. 1,200 plus 350 plus 250. Okay, so I'll add here 1,200 plus 350 plus 250. Okay, it will give us something like, if I'm not mistaken, here is going to be 1,800. Okay, so what is it that we want to calculate? We want to calculate 1,200 square meters is of 1,800. Okay, so we are going to say multiply by 1,200 over 1,800 to get the rent expense for the factory. Okay, if we multiply 135,000 times 1,200 over 1,800, we are going to remain with the rent expense of 90,000. It is 90,000 after doing that calculation. We also have with water and electricity. I'm sure there's also an adjustment. Let's go again to information number E. They said water and electricity, okay, 15% of the amount is allocated to the office and 25% to the sales. The rest applies to the factory. Okay, so that is also a calculation that is more or less like similar to this one. Let me do the calculation here. Okay, so from 100%, okay, we are told 15% is taken by 15%. They said office. Okay, so we say minus 15% and also minus 25% for the sales. So 100 minus 15 minus 25. Okay, we are going to remain with 60% is for the what? For the factory. So we are simply supposed to calculate 60% of the total water and electricity. The water and electricity that is given here is 36,000. So we are going to say 36,000 multiplied by 60 over 100, which is the allocation for the factory. Okay, when we do that calculation, we are going to remain with 21,600. 21,600 is for the factory. So we record 21,600. 21,600. That is all for the factory overheads. Let's add everything. Let's go to our calculators very fast. Okay, we are going to get a total of 620,110. Okay, so this is the amount that we're supposed to take to the production cost statement for the factory overheads. Okay, we are done with 2.1.1. Let's quickly now go on to 2.1.2, the production cost statement of Adam Bin Manufacturers for the year. Production cost statement. Okay, so this is the template that we are given. Okay, so the first part of the production cost statement, we are calculating the direct cost or the prime cost. So here we are already told the direct raw material cost. Okay, the direct raw material cost. Let's go to the information. We are given information number C, the summary of transactions for the year ended 29 February 2016. Raw materials issued to the factory, 1,652,100. That is given, that is easy. 1,652,100. Okay, and then which other direct cost do we have? The direct labor cost. Okay, the The direct labor cost, we get it from 2.1.1. Okay, the calculation that we did in 2.1.1, which is 1,451,520. Okay, let's add those two amounts. The total now that we are going to get now for the two amounts is 3,103,000, 3,103,620. Okay, that is our prime cost. So direct material plus direct labor gives us the prime cost. After getting the prime cost, now we do record our factory overhead costs. The factory overhead cost, factory overhead cost, okay? Also from 2.1.1, okay? How much was it? 620,110, okay? So prime cost plus factory overhead cost gives us the total cost of production. Let's go to our calculators. The total cost of production, okay, it is 3,723,730. Okay, 3,723,730. That is the total cost of production. Now we go on to the work in process on the 1st of March 2015. Work in process is simply the work that was incomplete from the previous financial year that is now supposed to be carried over to this financial year that we are looking at. Work in process on the 1st of March 2015, we are given information of the stock balances, okay, on B, okay, work in process, the opening is 169,000, 169,500. Okay, we add it to the total cost of production, okay, to give us 3,893,000, 3,893,230. Okay, and then after that we record the working process, okay, at the end. The working process at the end is also given. The working process at the end is 120,600. 120,600. We are supposed to subtract it, so we indicate that by putting the brackets. Okay, so when we subtract our final answer is 3,772,630. Okay, 3,772,730. Okay, now we are done with our production cost statement because we have already calculated the cost of production of finished goods. Okay, the last item that we are doing is 2.1.3. Calculate the unit cost of production per plastic bin. So we simply have to say the total cost of production divided by the number of units that we manufactured. So we say 3,772,630 divided by the number of units that we manufactured. Let's go to information A. The business produced 58,000 units during the financial year. So divided by 58,000 units. Okay, divided by 58,000 units. Okay, let's do that calculation and find out how much we get. Okay, our answer is going to be 65 commas. If we round it off, it will be 65 rand 5 cents. Okay, you round it off and you get something like 65 rand 5 cents per unit. Okay, so this is our manufacturing question, learners. The note for the direct labor factory overhead, the production cost statement, and calculating the unit cost. Okay, the only item that is left that we have not covered in this video is the break-even point, which you see in the video that is to come after this one. Grade 12 learners, as you are preparing for your trial examinations, you can also recommend some of the topics that you want me to be doing with you. I want you also to make sure that every time when you watch our videos, you like them, okay? And make sure that you like our videos. If you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, because I am sure there are more videos that are coming that are going to be very helpful for your trial examination and also for your final examination in this year. Thank you.